Helen Keller. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy and your joy, and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. Said by Helen Keller. Introduction. The achievements of willpower are almost beyond computation. Scarcely anything seems impossible to the man who can will strongly enough and long enough. By Orison Swett Marden. Willpower is the ability to control oneself and the decisions one makes. It's the ability to delay gratification and choose long term rewards over short term rewards. We can say that Helen Keller, a famous American author, political activist, and a lecturer, has shown us a great example of willpower because, despite of her disability, she fulfilled all her dreams and achieved success in her life. Description: Helen Keller was born on 27th June 1880 in a small town in Alabama, USA. Parents: her father's name was Arthur Henry Keller, who was a retired Confederate Army captain and the editor of the local newspaper. Her mother's name was Kate Adams Keller, who was a well-educated young woman from Memphis. Childhood and education. When Helen was a young child of 19 months, she caught a terrible fever. The fever would have killed the child, but Helen fought through it. When she recovered from the fever, her parents discovered that Helen could neither see nor hear. They were left broken-hearted, but they hoped that Helen would be all right. As she could not see nor hear, Helen used her senses of smell and touch to understand what was going on around her. She followed her mother around all the time, holding on her skirt. Soon, she started recognizing people either by touching them or smelling them. She recognized some of her father's friends by the smell of tobacco. By the age of 7, Helen communicated with her family with the help of signs which she invented. If she wanted certain food items or drink, she expressed signs to her parents. Slowly, Helen started to express her frustration through outbursts. Her parents then decided to hire a tutor who could help her. They did not hope that the tutor would understand her well, yet their love for their daughter made them try. The tutor they hired was Anne Sullivan, who was partially blind. Anne soon realized that Helen was unruly because she could not communicate. Slowly, she began learning alphabets and acquiring the ability to communicate with others. She was taught the sign for getting water. This was a very tiresome experience both for the teacher and the learner. Anne would continuously put water on Helen's hand until she understood that what Anne was signing was water. After about 2 years of hard work, she began to talk in full sentences. After then, Helen went to school. After spending about 6 years in school, Helen learned how to read the Braille, the special writing for the blind. It was a very big achievement. In 1894, she was admitted to a school for deaf in New York. After completing the program successfully, she went to a college. When she passed out of the college in 1904, Helen's hard work bore fruit and she topped her class. She graduated with honors. Career. Once out of college, Helen wrote her first book, The Story of My Life. With the proceeds from the book, she was able to buy her own house. Helen kept writing. Her life and experiences, especially her relationship with her tutor, Anne Sullivan, became the inspiration for an Oscar-winning documentary and a stage play that ran for 2 years continuously before a packed audience. Her life story became the theme for a movie that won for its lead character an Oscar award for Best Actress. Conclusion. She died on 1st June 1968 at the age of 87. Her motto remains were buried by the side of her teacher Annie Sullivan in the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. Thousands of people visit her resting place and praise her courage for winning a terrible war on her physical handicaps. Even today, Helen Keller is an inspiration to many young people. Long after her death, students enact on stage her life and deeds of courage.